Yeah. Yeah. Miss Akila? Akila, good evening. MKG, sir?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Probably you could call her on her mobile.
Maybe. Yeah, sir. Yeah, I'm doing it.
She has joined, but I don't know whether she's in here.
She's not picking the phone, sir. Akila?
So, Chitra, can you hear me? This is Vandana.
Yeah, the voice is audible, ma'am. It's clear.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm
Akila, she's
calling
not
her.
picking. Uh-huh.
She's not picking the phone, actually.
Okay.
So, yeah.
She joined a little earlier also,
Yeah,
no?
she has joined.
Mm-hmm.
Her microphone is switched. That is muted on.
Yeah.
That's the one
So
thing we
it's
have
in
to-
mute. It's 6:30. Yeah. Yeah, Miss Akila, are you ready now? Hello?
Hi, Miss Akila. Can you hear us?
Akila, what happened? Huh? Yeah, can we start, Akila?
We can't hear you.
So is my voice audible, sir?
Yes, your voice is audible.
Hmm.
Her voice is not audible.
Yeah, Akila is speaking something, but her voice is not.
No, she's muted.
Yeah, she is muted. Huh. Yeah, the
Can't
screen
hear
is
her.
visible, Akila, but your voice is not audible. Yeah.
Akhila, you have to unmute.
No, you go to the previous screen, Akila. Exactly. Akila, you just need to unmute, that's it.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Now you are.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay, you're able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So this topic, talent management in today's context, like why is it so important in today's context is post the new normal. If you see, like, irrespective of the type of industry in which we are into, almost all the industries are facing, including academicians, they're facing a lot of problem in talents. It's not only in acquiring talents and in managing talents also. So that is why this talent management is gaining prominence in today's context. So when we talk about talent management, if you look at talent management, it covers the entire employee life cycle, right from entry till the exit of the employee. So it is very, very vast, and let us see like how much we can cover today. However, we are only going to see it from a conceptual point of view. So right from recruiting till the employee exits the company, everything gets covered under the scope of talent management. Now let us look at the paradigm shift in talent management. If you look at it, industrial revolution has evolved from IR, that is Industrial Revolution 2.0. Now we have evolved to Industrial Revolution 5.0. But when we look at has the talent management really has evolved in any of our practical applications, if you see, it is really a question whether it be from a small scale industry till a very large scale industry. Have we evolved to the pace of has the talent management evolved to the pace in which with which the industrial revolution has evolved? If you see, it is definitely a question. So IR 2.0 to 5.0 it has come. When we look at talent management, how it has evolved, the first era of talent management started with talent spotting based on talent spotting, talent management and talent development. Everything was based only on physical attributes. Just like how even today it is done in the military setup. Actually, if you see, many or major percentage of the CEOs of US, if you see, they'll be little, their height will be little above a normal US citizen. Meaning like, they give more importance to physical attribute. They were giving more importance to physical attributes and physical appearance. So that was the first era of talent management. And then the second era. Second era was mostly based on qualification. What is the qualification of the incumbents, experience, past performance, intelligent quotient of that individual. And when it came to development and appraisal of the individual, also all these were taken as criteria. That is how even today, if you see our government, the entire government setup is based on this type of talent management. So here, what was having major prominence was the qualification, experience, and past performance of the intelligent quotient. That is the IQ. And then the third era came. So third era, it was felt that not only the IQ is important, it is also the EQ that matters on the job. So competence meaning it is not only the skills. The second era spoke only about the skill requirements of a position. So skill comprising qualification, experience, and the intelligence and the skill that is needed to perform a job. So that was spoken in the second era. Then came the third era when it was felt that skill alone is not important, but how you apply that skill on the job, meaning skill plus the behavioral aspect that helps you to apply the learned skills on the job is also important. Not only this, also your other emotional parameters, your mental parameters, all this also plays a very important role in the success of in a person succeeding in a job. So the third era spoke about the competence model. So here it is IQ plus EQ. And then third era, then came the fourth era, the era in which we are right now. So it is not only the competence, but the potential. So when we talk about potential, why this potential has got so much of prominence now is, as I explained, the new normal is posing a lot of challenges. Almost all the industries are, finding it difficult to get the correct talent. Talents are becoming scarce in the industry. That is due to multivarious reasons. That is geographical distribution and, a lot of companies spreading across the globe. So all those reasons are there, but still talents are scarce, number one. Number two is, even if you're able to spot the right talent, the talent that we get from the market is all very expensive. Until then, if you have to keep the position open, then your business is at stake. And when we try to bring the right candidate after so many challenges, when we bring somebody at the lead level position, there again we have a challenge. Because will it be a right fit for the organizational culture? Will that is that incumbent a right fit for the nature of the industry? All this also matters. So considering all this and to overcome all these challenges, the fourth era visualized the potential-based talent management. So here, EQ is important. Here, the emphasis was on IQ and then EQ, which was emphasis in the competency-based model. Along with IQ and EQ, they also emphasize that there's a third component, which is called SQ, which is also important. So SQ is nothing but your social quotient, the networking, the collaborative capability what an individual has, and the spiritual quotient also. Spiritual quotient talks not only about it is not linked to any religious quotient, but it is more to do with the value-based, how much value the individual has, the integrity quotient, the humbleness. So all these are part of the SQ, that is the spiritual quotient and the social quotient. So now we are in the fourth era, which talks about the potential-based model, which is a very needed model for this, at this point in time, because of the various challenges what we come across, both in hiring as well as the talent management within the organization. So this is how the talent management is evolved. But whether all the organizations have imbibed or they have transitioned from the second or third to fourth is definitely a question. So if at all, if we have not been able to evolve from the second or third to fourth, and if we are really not transformed all our existing practices and systems to be aligned with the fourth era, then definitely we will have a lot of challenges what we face normally in our day-to-day operations. So with the evolution of these four eras, what has happened is there is the system thinking concept. So system thinking concept also has evolved from the system thinking to design thinking. So now if you see, like every nook and corner, we are talking about design thinking. So system thinking was more focusing on understanding the entire system, that is as a wholesome system or a holistic approach it was. Whereas the design thinking system, it focuses more on understanding the real needs to create human-centered approach. So this is the design thinking. So with the evolution of IR from 2.0 to 5.0, and with the evolution of talent management from the first era to the fourth era, system thinking concept also has evolved from system thinking to design thinking. Hence, the normal has moved to, the normal also has moved from normal to the new normal. So this is one of the paradigm shifts in the talent management. when we look at the history. Now let us look at a few examples of organizations who have changed their talent management strategies. For example, if you take Apple, post the new normal, Apple has changed its talent management strategies based on its organizational objectives. So when we look at what is the organizational objective of Apple, it says it is a functional organization to create extraordinary products through innovation. Meaning, Apple wants to create extraordinary products. So all these products are to be created very newly, and all this has to come out to the market on a very timely, based on the timelines that is already fixed and scheduled. So because of this model, Apple wanted SMEs, that is experts in each of the domains. So when we say experts in each of the domains, they might be experts in fixed components. Say if it is a camera, a person will be expert in camera. Say if it is a person who's good at screens, they'll be good only at screen. Battery. So something like that, like each of the components of their work is getting disintegrated and employees are made experts in each of these. So this is their model. So for this model to work, what they did was they listed out a few core competencies. One is the deep expertise. Second is technical updation in line with the technology what they are updating. Third is collaborative working. Why collaborative working came into picture? Because their model says the experts or their employees who are going to work on specific domains will also be working on their entire product ranges. If that is the case, one particular employee working on one component will be working along with the total cross-functional team who are responsible for one particular product. So it is a must that the employee should have a very good team working competency. So collaborative working was also one of the core competencies that Apple identified. So what happened is these core competencies form the basis based on which their entire talent management strategy was built, right from recruitment. So when they have to hire a candidate, they were ensuring that all these core competencies are definitely a part of the candidate's screening process. Likewise, when it came to employee development, learning and development, then considering the employee for the next higher level. Likewise, the entire employee life cycle was built around these core competencies. So this is the strategy that Apple built post the new normal. And then one more example of a service industry. Apple is a manufacturing industry. So we saw about how Apple, built its talent strategy around the very core competencies. And these core competencies were derived from the organization's objective. It is not based on any other thing. It is directly from the organization's objective. Similarly, we'll look at one more example of a service industry. So ITC is a customer-based service industry. So what they have done is, instead of devising a organizational objective and from there to derive the talent management strategy, what they have done is they analyzed the past behaviors of high-performing employees. So they may had a list of employees whom they felt were successful on their job and who were really high-performing. So they did a very exhaustive study analyzing the qualities of these high-performing employees. And based on their study, they came out with certain values and traits. So these values and traits, if you look at those values and traits, one is adaptability. These are all very specific traits which supports any service industry. So one is the adaptability. Second is passion for work. Emotional maturity, because this is a customer-centric, customer-based industry. Third is emotional maturity, achievement orientation, positive disposition, and then self-advocacy. So these are all basic values and traits that any employee inside this particular organization has to have, so that their expected performance outcome can be delivered. So around this, their entire recruitment, their talent management, the entire life cycle of the employee was derived. So having seen how the companies derived their core competencies or the triads and values based on which they were trying to make up their entire talent management strategy. So these are a few competencies, list of competencies and potentials. So these competencies, list of competencies and potentials were derived based on studies taken by renowned firms from several organizations and with several respondents. So based on the study, they have released a list of competencies which could be used as a competency model. If we are going to follow a competency-based model, these competencies can be used. If you are going to tailor our or customize our talent strategy based on the potential-based model, so these are all a few triads that has been listed out as important to be included in a potential-based model. So when we talk about potential-based model, it says curiosity to seek new experiences. So before going into the details, potential-based model talks more about employees coming inside an organization. At the same time, they will also have to be tailored, they'll also have to be developed for the next higher roles that the company might come across or the company might open up, or for the as a succession planning also. So if we look at the resource not for the present employment, present role, also for the futuristic role, then these are the competencies that might be required. One is the curiosity to seek new experiences. So unless an employee has curiosity to learn, he might not be open up for learning new things that may come up. He might not be ready for any changes that might be coming up. And one more thing about a potential-based thing is like it came after the the new normal. So new normal itself, it poses a lot of it is nothing but it is an era of disruption. It is an era of changes. So anybody who's coming inside an organization was evaluated for their readiness for change, their readiness for flexibility, adaptability, their readiness for gathering insight, so that even if there is a technology eruption or if industrial revolution happens, they should be able to adapt to it, and then they should be able to engage wholeheartedly, emotionally and mentally, and connect with people. So now, like this here is a connect which is very important because it talks about collaboration and teamwork. And then determination to fight and win despite challenges. So the new era is posing a lot of challenges, and the incumbent should definitely have the determination to fight against this and prove on work. So these four competencies, these four triads were identified as very important in a potential-based model. So potential-based model not only focuses only on this, but we just can't forget of whatever we have been doing in the history. So in the potential-based model, we will also be including the IQ-based model. So IQ of the employees and the candidates will also have a prominence. Then comes the EQ, that is a competency, and then the potential. So in addition to IQ, EQ, and the SQ, potentials also will be assessed. So this is the model that talks about. This is what the potential-based model talks about. This is what I have explained: why, what, and how of potential management. So when we look at why a potential management, it's because of the VUCA environment where everything is disruptive or everything keeps changing every now and then, and the incumbent should be ready for any type of change and for the change management. So this like as I explained, IQ plus EQ plus SQ plus the potential. So all this gets imbibed into the potential-based model. So whatever model we talk about, what is the ultimate objective? So ultimate objective will be to attract good talents, building a performance-based culture, and then developing internal talents for present and future requirement, to set appropriate rewards, recognition, and compensation, and then to have ultimately to have improved employee engagement with low attrition and smart retention. If this is there, no business firm needs to worry about its business growth or expansion or business growth predominantly. Now, based on all this, if we have to develop ourselves a good framework or a talent management framework, which is potential based, I'm just giving an example in the next slide. So this could be used as an illustration. So however we want, based on our organizational objectives, based on our organizational requirements, we can tailor make and we can make the components. So one side we have the governance part of it, the other side we have the metrics, and in between we have all the components of an employee life cycle and the potential based traits and values that needs to be a part of the framework. So all this is included here. So with this as the base, we can try to make a framework with the required changes in customization. So having seen a model, having seen what a potential based talent management system is all about, now let us have a look at a few organizations, few examples of organizations which have excellent talent management strategies. So one such example is Dabbawala. I'm sure, like, many of you would have got to know. Dabbawalas are, Mumbai-based people who are basically into the function of carrying the tiffin boxes from the home, that is home foods, to the workplaces of employees or to schools or to colleges, wherever it is. So they have framed, this company was formed with an objective that people should consume home food, that is whichever is healthy, they should not take outside food. But in cities like Mumbai, where the traffic is hectic, where people start very early to work, where people lifestyle is totally mechanical, it becomes very challenging for people to prepare food at home and take it to workplace before they start. So this was the concept behind the Dabbawala business itself. And then Dabbawalas, what they did was they employed few employees to pick up these tiffin boxes and deliver at the workplaces. And again, the empty boxes were carried from the workplaces back to home. So this was predominant. But with this, very low level of work, they were able to really establish very high standards of quality. And it is more than 100 years since the company was formed, and they very proudly say it is zero attrition company. And despite 5,000 employees working for Dabbawalas and more than 20 lakh tiffins are being delivered every day, there is zero customer complaint and there is zero delivery delays. We know, like cities like Mumbai, how trains operate, how road conditions are. Despite all these, whatever reasons we ourselves we might tell, they don't give any reasons, and their entire model is revolved around customers and customer satisfaction, on time delivery. So they say very proudly it is a zero delivery delay. So how they are able to achieve all this, and by achieving all this, they are right now a Six Sigma company. So they say they are what do you say, like it is basically a total shift. This can be a very right example for anybody to follow who is into customer centric service. So because there is no zero attrition, because there is zero customer complaint, because there is zero delivery, now they are able to achieve they have been able to come to the stage of a Six Sigma company. How this has happened? A very careful selection, right from their hiring till they develop the employees. Their model is very, very very carefully and very, very the parameters what they set is very carefully selected and they implement it. They select employees who have passion for the work, who are totally customer centric, who believe customer is their God. So they have a specific God name, but I don't want to really, tell that. So they feel like, they are made to believe that customer is the God. And they ensure their logistic is extremely zero defective. That's why, even after so much of, even like, after collecting 2 lakh tiffin boxes with 5,000 employees, they are able to deliver and take back without any time delays. So careful selection is one. Second is the way they develop their employees. They put the employees to a lot of hardships. They test the employees. They test them aggressively. And after testing, they make sure all these tests enable the employee to ensure whatever hurdles that come up on the way, they are able to overcome, and they really, ensure that they achieve the target. That is, they are able to deliver to the customers on time. So that development process itself, and more importantly, all these 50% of these employees are illiterates, and the coding and the symbolizing what they use is very easy for each of the employee, even if they're illiterates, to understand, so that their logistics or the delivery doesn't get hampered. So very carefully designed development methodologies, very carefully designed assessment methodologies, very carefully designed methodologies that enable employees to learn and to ensure like they overcome all the hurdles. So because of all this, they have very highly engaged employees, and ultimately the company is found to be totally customer focused company. So this is one of the excellent example of talent management. It is available on YouTube. You can just go through and read their case studies. It is all very, very interesting, and a lot of lessons can be learned about talent management from the Dabbawalas. Then one more typical example can be the talent management of Salesforce. Why I took up Salesforce is, this is one area where, like, unlike people who are inside the premises, like in-house, inside a factory or inside a workplace or inside any service center, these people are all in the field. So what happens is, the connectivity to these people is very less. That is point number one. Point number two is, sales performance evaluation is more visible in terms of numbers and in terms of the number of clients what they bring. But there are also several other performance metrics that really impacts their growth and their career movement. So that is not being effectively communicated to them, or they are not getting to know. I'm just giving one example of a sales guy. So one sales guy, I don't want to mention the name of the company or the entire case. I'm just giving a glimpse of the case. An employee who's a sales guy who he joins the company, and this guy was referred by his ex-boss, who has also joined this company sometime before. So he came through reference inside this company. Ultimately, this guy, as expected by his boss, who was also his ex-boss, he was performing extraordinarily. So he was given a particular product range, and he was able to bring in numbers, and he was able to bring in a lot of customers. Customer satisfaction was really good, and this guy also got very good increments over a period because of his good performance. And then he was moved from one place to the other so that he can establish markets over there. Ultimately, fortunately, this guy was transferred along with his boss whom he was reporting to. So when he went to the new place, also there, like, he was able to establish the market. He was able to show numbers to the company. Because of him, the company's turnover went up. The company's business got flourished. Everything was really fantastic. Then at some point in time, the employee came back to his boss and asked, "Sir, I'm keeping on getting increments. I'm also giving very good business to the company, but ultimately I'm not being promoted to the next higher position." Then the boss went to the management, and he was talking to the management. Then the management said, "See, like, you are going to retire in some time. Let us see like how the employee performs after some time, and then we will decide on this." Then the boss retired, a new boss came in that position. And this particular employee was not made to report to the boss who joined newly. Instead, he was allowed to work independently. And now, like, he was also given a new product range to operate in the market. And now, like, the employee was able to show sales of the earlier product, but when the new product was given, he went and told the management his customers are preferring the old product and not the new product. Maybe product variant, not the new product variant, but the old product. So management was pushing that this particular old model was getting obsolete, and he has to focus only on the new model. And then the management said, like, you will have to start directly interacting with the cross-functional teams and ensure, like, you are getting whatever is your requirement, the products, the quantity, the timelines, what you commit to the customers, all that you will have to start following, and you will have to get it from the cross-functional teams. So then he started directly interacting, and then he found, like, there were a lot of slippages in the timelines, what he committed to the customers. And he started, quarreling with a lot of other cross-functional teams to ensure, like, his deliveries are being met. And in parallel, like, he was also not able to establish the new product range in the market. So again, like, management called him, they said this was one of the reasons. Now, like, you had been asking us why you were not given promotion. So these are all, we are just listing out a few parameters which we felt like were not being revealed by you on the field or in your performance. Number one, you seem to be a core sales guy. You are giving numbers. But when it comes to visioning, what will happen to next? When it comes to market study, what will happen to the market? Will this product remain in the market forever? Will there be any change in the market? Will your customers prefer the same product, or will the customers shift to a new expectation? So all this visioning was not there in you. Point number two, from operational perspective, from an operational point of view, you were thinking everything. But from a strategic point of view, what will the company do if in case the sales of this product goes down? What will be the company's strategy if my customer segment is going down? What will be the next focus of the company? So that business visioning was also not there. So because of all these reasons, we found that you are operating at a particular level where you are successful, but to go to the next level, you need to imbibe few competencies which will help you to visualize, to gain a vision, to gain market insight, to work with others, not under a comfortable zone of one boss, work with cross-functional teams, have a good team collaboration. So unless and otherwise you imbibe all these qualities, you are not ready for the next higher level. So in a particular level, an employee might be operating very well, but when it comes to a career progression or a promotion, he has to imbibe a lot of other qualities that is expected also. So that was missing, and hence the person was not able to go to the next higher level or get a career progression. So hence, like, the talent management strategy of any company should not only focus on hiring an individual who just works at a particular level, but there should also be development initiatives which ensures the particular person is also able to climb up the ladder of an organization. So having looked at the strategies of companies, talent management strategies of companies, and the other parameters of triads of potential assessment and competencies of a competency model, now let us look at the real challenge that comes up in our day-to-day life. There is a smart retention. Now, like, every day we come across high potentials, and we say we are unable to retain high potentials, or to hire a high potential also we are finding it difficult. But with the potential potential talent assessment model, we should also not look at the hiring of employees and development of employees. We should also look at the requirements of employees especially when it comes to high potentials. So here are few listed parameters or few listed requirements that has come out based on a study by several consulting companies with different individuals and different organizations. So they say these are all the predominantly the requirements put up by hypos as what they look out in a workplace. So one is autonomy. So autonomy, if you say, like, it comprises of 4 parameters. One is a task, what they want to do. Second is a time frame, what they needed to do the task. Then comes the team, whom they want to work with, and then the technique, how they do it. So it is said that high potentials and the present generation employees look at autonomy on work. So they want to do tasks. If we show them a broad picture of what is the ultimate objective, and if we also show them what is the component that he has to contribute to the overall big picture, then they decide on the task, they come out with a timeline, and depending upon the overall timelines, and they will suggest the team with whom they are comfortable to work with and the technique. So this autonomy they are looking at. And then second is the mastery. So they might come inside an organization with a less or a particular scale of competency or particular scale of skill set. So they expect the organizations to develop them to the level expected or they want to master. And then third comes the purpose. So they want to look at the larger purpose as we saw in the first point. And then the fourth is the compensation. So they want compensation also to reflect to their contribution because they are 2 to 3 years experienced. Though they are 2 to 3 years experienced, if they are high post, definitely they would expect the compensation and the other rewards and recognition to commensurate with whomever who has experience but are able to give the same output. And then fifth is the engagement. They want complete ownership of work. And they also are looking at organizational, collaborating with the outside, and also the other, they want to be a part of other organizational goals. So if all these are being worked out to the extent possible and given to the high post, it is a very good smart retention strategy, or it can form a good retention strategy apart from, whatever the other roles, definitions, whatever we give. So having seen all this, the underlying concept of talent management is same size doesn't fit all. We cannot have talent management which can fit all the employees across the organization, because all 5 fingers are not unique. All employees are not unique. And having understood this, if an organization has thousands of employees, it is not possible for an organization to have 1,000 different policies, and it is not possible for an organization to have n number of employees in the HR department who can work on individual requirements, who can work on individual development, who can work on individual assessments. So ultimately, what will be the focus? The focus will be that the line managers assume the HR role. When line managers are expected to assume the HR role, do you think it is definitely not possible for line managers to work without a specific, like a strategy, or a strategy being made very clear to them in each of the functions, whether it be recruitment, whether it be development, whether it be section planning, or whether it be career movement of an employee. If they have to be the front face of an employee in all the, all the perspectives related to an employee, unless a clear guidelines, unless a clear strategy is defined in all these perspectives, it is not possible for line managers to assume the role of a HR manager. So what will be the solution? We need to have clear-cut strategies. See, this is a 9-box grid. An organization can look at either a 9-box grid or a 16-box grid or a 25-box grid, depending upon their requirement and depending upon how they want to have. So this is a very popular tool that is being used for performance management and for section planning. But if we look at a potential model of talent management, we can think of it as a very powerful tool. So this can have a very clear basis of how an employee, the strategizing each component based on the employee's performance and potential. And this can be a very clear guidelines for line managers to have a clear-cut talent management. So how this works, I'm just telling you. So these are all the components. In the previous slide, we saw performance and potential. Assuming a scenario where an employee is very low in performance and his potential to come up is also very low. So he falls under the low potential and low performance category. Now, what should be the call of a particular line manager in terms of giving a career growth for that employee, or giving a salary increment for an employee? That is what is spelled in the next slide. If you look at it, here we can list out our strategy, the rewards and recognition and compensation when it comes to low C and low P employees. Likewise, if we look at each of the boxes, we can have all permutation and combinations, and we can list out very clear strategies which will be a guideline. One employee can come and ask, like, I've been in the company for 10 years, but my increment is not at par with an employee who has joined 2 years in the same role. So now in that case, like you can plot the employee where he falls, whether the employee is a high performer or a low performer, high potential or a low potential. Now, like if he's a high performer but a low potential, that means he is giving a signal that he will be stagnant in this position. He will not be able to climb up the ladder. In that case, will the company or will an organization be able to continuously give very high increments to the employee who cannot be moved to a higher role? So this has to be very clearly communicated to the employee that you are a high performer, no doubt, but your potential is low, because of which your career progression might be a problem. And if you are still remaining in the same position, we may not be able to afford to continuously give a higher increment for you. So all these decisions and all these guidelines can be taken from this, and strategies relevant to that can be listed out here in this grid, which can form the basis. And now, the HR's role will be to define the strategies, define policies, HR policies in line with the strategies, and provide guidelines to all its line managers. And these strategies will have to be accepted by the top management, or should be derived in aligned with the top management. So once this is done, all the line managers, they themselves will be assuming the role of a HR, or they'll be assuming the talent management ownership, talent management accountability. And with that, they'll be able to clearly guide, and they can customize the talent management requirement, development requirement, career management requirement for each and every employee individually. And this way, they'll be able to very clearly spot out high potentials, low potentials, mediocre potentials, and focus on high potentials, focus on how the high potentials can be further developed to move them to a higher level position, mediocre potentials, how they can be moved to high potential. So all these strategies can be worked out by line managers if a guideline strategy is provided to them. So this forms the broader perspective of how the talent management can be done when it comes to managing through line managers. So ultimately, to conclude, so talent management, it has to be tailor-made, as we saw from the of late, from 13 slides to the 17th slide. And talent management in the present time becomes a responsibility of all the line managers. Talent management to be built on organizational objectives as well as on the potential requirements to meet all the challenges and to face the VUCA world. Ultimately, when all this is done, then talents can be developed from within, and this will help the organizations to continue without any disruption. Organizations will be ready to face any challenges. Organizations will be able to build a good employer brand, and they'll become the employers of choice. Thank you. Now I'm open for any questions.
Good evening, ma'am. This is Raghuvaran.
Yeah, good evening. Please tell me.
Ma'am, your session was very good. Very good case studies and more insightful examples and concepts.
Thank you.
You are able to relate to the current situation and what is the need of this thing. Ma'am, one question in terms of like we are talking about artificial intelligence impacting in every domain of our management, everything, and how you see that artificial intelligence will help us or hinder the talent management on what are the way? Just I want to know from you.
Yeah. As far as talent management is concerned, there are a lot of, there are two ways to look at it. One is the HCM software, that is a HRM software that is available in the market that integrates the entire life cycle right from recruitment till exit. So the basic operational the processes can be totally integrated using all these HRMs. But when you look at the analytical part of it, data part of it, and data helping in your decision, and a lot of other tools of assessment, none of the HRM, the HRM software that are available in the market has. So as an add-on, we can definitely take support from AI-based tools. And these AI-based tools can be integrated to the HRM to make it wholesome. So all these AI-based tools will be co-pilots that can give us the inputs for taking decision. So that will not be the that cannot give the 100% decision. That can support us with data which can help us to take decision. Because if you see like any human related decisions, you cannot engineer it totally. It cannot be made 100% objective. You can make it objective to the maximum possible extent, but again, like there will be some amount of subjectivity because it is. This will definitely help because it will ease the entire process of right from recruitment till employee exit process.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate the point what you said. But how you see, apart from HR, other domains, will any replacement will happen because of that improvement in the technology? Like in manufacturing sector, any routine jobs will be taken care of?
Actually speaking, like many of the organizations have already started, bringing in AI as a tool along with whatever other applications they have right now. Even in our organization, we have already done it. But all these are supporting, supporting applications that can help you to make your work more easier, more accurate, more data driven, very clear to take decisions, very futuristic, all that. But definitely nothing can replace anybody.
Okay, ma'am, but it will not affect the talent management because it has a totally new dimension now.
Yes.
Most of the things are taken away. That's my question indirectly.
One thing is like we should also cope up with the changing times. See, unless we are shifting from a normal way of working to a digital savvy environment, we will be lost somewhere. So we will also have to keep changing with the changing times and changing technologies. So even in recruitment, if you see talent management, talent acquisition, if you see, there are a lot of tools coming up. However, ultimately, maybe you are right now, I'm just telling for an example, if a person is just sourcing resumes right now, he has to, now sourcing will be done by some other AI and initial screening will be done by some other AI. Now, ultimately, it comes to you for a final decision. Now, like from a sourcing, level, you will have to imbibe yourself, or you will have to, develop yourself to a interviewing level. So interview only a certain portion of the parameters can be assessed by AI. Ultimately, the decision remains on you. So you will have to keep on upgrading yourself, keep on changing yourself with the changing technology, and ensure you are also upskilling yourself to the next higher levels. So people who are really upgrading, they can definitely survive. People who are not upgrading, definitely, they'll have to switch over to some other area where technology does not disrupt.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Hi, Ms. Akila. This is Vandana.
Hi, Akila here. Please tell me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed listening to your presentation throughout. And thank you very much. It was very insightful. And being an HR person, it was like, revisiting and refreshing some of the concepts that you mentioned.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, a very, very insightful session, and very, you have put in so much efforts, and the slides were also excellent. The examples also came out very well. Just wanted, I don't know, it's a question or something, but most of the organizations, when they say talent management, they refer to the fast trackers. But I understand talent management is for all the employees, right?
Yeah, correct.
Or is it only you identify only the potential ones, the high performers, and then combine it with their development programs, or is it for the entire employees?
Actually, there are two segments of it. One is leadership development, the other is talent development. So leadership development will focus on a certain percentage, because if you see organizational triangle, the base is very big. And as you go up, the peak is very small. So if there are 1,000 employees, all the 1,000 cannot become leaders. Hardly 10 or 20 become leaders. So a certain percentage, say about maximum 3 to 5% will be the industry average. So 3 to 5% of the employees are being honed for leadership positions. They are being developed for leadership positions. They are the high posts. They can be high posts who are focused for leadership development. There could be high posts who are SMEs, that is subject matter experts, but they might not be leaders.
Yes.
They can be, they may not be able to work in collaboration with the teams. They may not be able to delegate. They may not be, but they'll be very good functional experts. So for them, like there'll be a space created in the organization. So likewise, we'll have to identify leadership development separately, talent development. Talent development, it can be even in the same function also. You'll have to keep upskilling them. You'll have to ensure, see, one thing is like leadership development is mainly focusing on section development, section management. If there is one leader who's what is a plan A for the section for the leader, what is a plan B? So if plan A can be ready in 1 year, after the plan A, you also have to parallelly ensure plan B is developed. So that is a cycle.
I understand.
It keeps it has to keep going.
I think this way, Google is one example. Long time ago, I had to listen to them. Like everyone doesn't want to be a leader also.
Yes,
So you need to
exactly.
really identify. Some of them are very happy being an expert, like you said, SMEs, or doing what they're good at. They don't want to hold leadership positions. I think that is, you understand people. And I think it's more than AI and all the softwares also, human interaction, as well as as you said, line managers. They should also be able to understand, and they should also have that EI, etc. You said, no, emotional intelligence,
Correct.
in order to, yes, and have that empathy and understand people, and then help them grow in the organization and realize their potential.
Yeah, in this potential talent management framework, if you see, more
Mhm.
emphasis is given on HR for
Mm.
non-HR people. So they should be trained on human factors, that is people handling
Yes,
factors,
yes,
than
yes.
HR. So that will be one of the development parameters for non-HRs.
Yes, yes, very true, very true. Everyone needs to be an HR because everybody needs to have people skills.
Yes,
Excellent. Actually, I very less participants are there. If you can spare, I know it's very difficult to get you also. Once the students are back, because they are on vacation, right? So we are not able to get the students. This session would have been really very, very useful to the students. So if you can spare time, once it's, the students come back, we will contact you once again to deliver the same session, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, we'll look at it definitely. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was really very insightful. Thank you so much for the time that you have taken off to do this session for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Actually speaking, like this has to be a day's workshop if we have to go into each of the components, explain how the framework is made, all that. So I've just given an overview.
I understand, but in that overview also, it has a lot of information. If it's done for more than it's something in colleges and all, it will be really useful, and also for HR professionals.
Yeah,
if it's done in
there
a
has
sort
to
of
be a lot
workshop.
of case studies being worked out by academicians on the talent management, because a lot of areas are still untouched and a lot of areas are without solutions right now.
I understand. Yes. Very true, very true. And it is essential for everyone to understand that.
Correct.
With the changing times. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Do you have any
Ruchika?
questions, participants?
Thank you
MKG,
so
sir?
much.
Yeah. You continue, sir.
No, I just wanted to thank you for the session.
Okay then, sir. Yeah. MKG, sir, could you produce a vote of thanks?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Akila, because an excellent session. As narrated by our committee members, it was really a wonderful session, which has to be really useful for the students. But unfortunately, we have very less students out here because of the college holidays and all that. And I hope we'll have a great session in the future with you. And with knowledge and experience, you were able to give us a great insight into about what in today's context, what is about talent management and the different kind of eras you have touched upon, and what is the next future into it. It was really insightful, and I hope this has given a lot of inputs about leadership and HR and everything. So you touched upon a great topic. On behalf of Coimbatore Management Association, we thank you so much for giving us a session on this talent management in today's context. Really useful. Possibly we'll have one more session with the students and all that. Thank you. And I thank all the committee members and all the student coordinators, student chapter coordinators, and the Coimbatore Management Association office team. Thank you so much for coordinating this Monday meeting on number 557 for the first week of June 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Akila. Thank you for your presence.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Akila.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.